Hello, everyone. This is Daily Crypto News, and I'm Sarah, and we're back with Project 101. And I have today here Slater, co-founder of Blueberry Protocol. Yummy. And welcome, Slater.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Today we're going to have a quick session, but a juicy, snappy one. So I prepared some questions, so buckle up, and here we go. Number one, what does Blueberry do in a couple of sentences?
Yeah, so Blueberry, I like to call it DeFi's prime brokerage, or alternatively, a DeFi terminal. So it's a place where you can access leverage at step one and do any of your favorite DeFi trades, whether you're leverage farming, leverage trading, doing yield arbitrage, whatever it is that you do in DeFi, you can do it with more capital on Blueberry and also earn some additional rewards.
Mm. Why do you think we need one more DeFi protocol like Blueberry?
Yeah. So, I mean, there hasn't really been a true prime broker in DeFi to this point. And there have been a fair amount of protocols that market themselves as prime brokers, but really the role of a prime broker in TradFi is to give you customized leverage on a per trade basis, right? So, like, if you want to put on a very unique trade, like in DeFi, you can take a lot of unique trades, right? Maybe you want to combine 5 protocols together, or you want to leverage farm in an AMM or
Yeah.
whatever it is. There's not really an option where you could access leverage for all of that in DeFi, and also where the risk engine understands the leverage, or sorry, the correct parameters for the relationship between collateral asset, debt asset, and the position that you're creating very specifically. So getting
Hmm.
that level of granularity and kind of aggregating the deployments of the loans into one platform with the money market allows
Hmm.
us to customize risk a lot more clearly and
Yeah.
add a support for a lot more assets, a lot more types of strategies. Really anything in DeFi can work on Blueberry.
Okay. It sounds a little bit difficult, but maybe it's just me. But how simple or complex it is, do you think for people to use Blueberry?
Yeah, I always get down to the like complex risk management stuff because that's what like drives the business. But actually
Yeah.
using the protocol is super simple, right? It's just select your strategy and it'll tell you how much leverage you can use.
Yeah.
It'll tell you what collateral assets and assets you can borrow. And so the kind of nice thing is it can work for super simple stuff too, right? If you just want to go leverage long on Bitcoin, all you do is select the long Bitcoin strategy. And then
Right.
you could use any collateral you want. You could use USD coin as collateral, or you could use rep staked ETH as collateral, whatever you want, and just borrow leverage in one click. And the other nice part about Blueberry is, you generally have to track a lot of your own positions in DeFi, right?
Hmm.
Where it's kind of confusing and you don't really know how much money you're making a lot of the time. But on Blueberry, it all happens in one platform, so you don't have to use multiple protocols. You just click borrow, it'll leverage your position. You can actually see your live P&L, how much rewards you're earning, how much interest you're
Hmm.
paying, all in a super easy to use terminal. It's almost like you're leverage trading on Binance or something super familiar like that.
Yeah.
But now you're able to leverage the entire scope of DeFi trades, right? So it's not just trading. You could also do yield related things and anything you want to do in DeFi.
Okay. Cool. Do you have any token?
Yes, we have a governance token called BLB. And
Okay.
actually, right now, ongoing, we have a lock drop going on where if you lend assets to the protocol, you receive BD which is a vested version of BLB. And there's also an airdrop on the horizon for participants in the protocol and social media supporters alike.
Okay. Cool. Why do you need BLV, you think?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a governance heavy protocol, right? Like we want to be as decentralized as possible and permissionless as
Mm.
possible. But with a lending market like this, you have to be very careful about risk management and what assets you add to the platform. So similarly to things like Aave or Compound, right? Like a new collateral asset has to pass governance, and that's a very valuable thing for other protocols that want their tokens listed, right? So that's probably the main draw of the BLB governance token is just figuring out which assets and strategies should be added to the
Hmm.
protocol next. And over time, as we achieve sufficient decentralization, we definitely intend to turn it into a revenue sharing token. We just have to make sure we're meeting the correct regulatory requirements to get there first.
Okay, cool. I remember something about in one of the introductory video of Blueberry that the kind of problem statement came from the fact that crypto lending protocols are usually over collateralized because of the volatility, but it kind of unleashed the potential. The Blueberry can unleash the potential by kind of less doing less of the over collateralization. Is that correct?
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I was starting to describe earlier was the fact that you can borrow up to 20x leverage in one click
Mm,
with Blueberry. The reason you can do that is because you can only use the leverage for like a select thing, or sorry, a select group of things, right? So
right.
kind of like I described earlier, it could be leverage farming, it could be leverage trading, but it's all integrated strategies directly on the Blueberry platform.
Mm-hmm.
So because the Blueberry platform still controls the money and your collateral, you can borrow up to 20x leverage in one click, and the system can still stay healthy for lenders because we can just liquidate positions that take losses, right, and repay the lender.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it takes away the burden of over collateralization, which has been a big
Mm.
pain point for DeFi at this point.
I think the natural next question is that is there some sort of risk mitigation in the Blueberry protocol to kind of compensate if there is any risk for under collateralization?
Yeah, and so one thing to clarify is like it's under collateralized in the sense that you're providing $100 and borrowing 2,000, right? Like
Yeah.
you can borrow more than the collateral that you have. But
Mm-hmm.
then once you use that 2,000 on a selected strategy on Blueberry, it's still controlled by what we call position NFT that holds on
Mm-hmm.
to the collateral, debt, and the position itself. So it's still non-custodial, right? Like there's no counterparty taking your money, but your position is secured, right? Like you can't just borrow 20x and take the money and leave. You have to use
Mm-hmm.
it on Blueberry for an integrated strategy. And so to mitigate risk, it's very simple. It's just if you provided the $100 and you took a $2,000 position, if that $2,000 position loses $90 or 90% of the $100
Right.
that you collateralized, then the whole position just gets liquidated. Basically, somebody else comes in, buys your position NFT, repays your debt, and keeps the collateral. And they make a small margin on that, right? But this keeps the system healthy and provides another profit opportunity for liquidators. Generally, very favorable liquidation terms compared to other money markets for the borrowing user. But yeah, you always have to
Mm-hmm.
be careful of liquidation if you're using leverage. For sure.
Of course. Of course. All right. And have you, I believe that you have been around a little bit and developing the protocol. Have you ever been hacked before?
No, so we only launched about 2 weeks ago. We've done 5 audits total, 3 different auditing firms. One of them did 3 consecutive audits, and
Mm-hmm.
not to this point. And obviously, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And we also just launched a bug bounty program, or 2 bug bounty programs, each for $250,000 on Hack and Proof and
Mm.
Remedy.xyz, which is the new Hexens platform. And I think the really important thing that we're implementing actually this week is BlockSec's Falcon. It's Falcon with a PH. It's a monitoring solution that
Huh.
basically allows automatic triggers to pause the protocol if we see things happening that look like an exploit. So have the bug bounties to hopefully hackers take the good route, have the audits where obviously the plan is to have no vulnerabilities.
Yep.
But in case we do, hopefully the hackers use the bug bounties. And if they choose not to use the bug bounties, we have a monitoring solution that should limit the damage at a 10% maximum of total TVL, which I think is a huge next step for the industry, these kind of monitoring solutions that are coming online.
Okay. Sounds good. What is Blueberry's 2024 plan?
Yeah, just grow a lot, right? So the market's been hot right now. We're going to do our TGE in on March 25th, and we listed on a few different sexes as well as on chain. And after we launch the token, it's just about integrating as much of the DeFi landscape as we possibly can. Like we're working on Pendle principal tokens as well as the new redacted cartel, LST. We'll do a lot of liquid restaking stuff, and then move on to L2s as well is going to be the other step.
Okay. Wow. Ambitious, but all the best. And I'd like to ask this question because it's always on my mind whenever I encounter news or meeting people in crypto. If you can think of one thing that if you could imagine we are going to use the cryptocurrency in daily life, what do you think it will be?
Yeah, I still think it's payments. I honestly think we don't talk about payments enough in the
Mm,
space. I mean, I think there's going to be a huge trend of RWAs. I could talk about that. It's narrative relevant for us. But the thing that bothers me the most, like keeps me up at night in crypto, is just that we have not implemented an at-scale payment solution using stablecoins yet. And I think this is the cycle that probably happens because that's really the
yeah.
one crypto use case where it's just such an obvious advantage, right? Like the whole world pays 3% to credit cards right now. And
Yeah.
we could just
Yeah.
completely eliminate that by using USDC on some scalable L2s and maybe
Yeah.
Solana. So I'm excited to see that hopefully come to fruition in this cycle and just be like a slap you in the face, obvious world improvement that crypto's offered. Like I'm such a crypto optimist. I think there's so many good use cases for crypto. It makes me really sad when the meta is just
Yeah.
like, all that matters is gambling. This space is for gambling only. You need to accept that. Like, no, fuck that. Sorry for my French, but like, there's so many real good use cases of crypto that are out there, and I think
Yeah.
this is the cycle where a lot of them happen. Is the way I look at it. So.
Yeah. Until the day that we can buy some beers with our crypto.
I think it's coming soon. I think it's coming really soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I really hope so. All right. Where can we find your project or your information updates?
Yeah, for sure. So, site project is blueberry.garden. We're also launching a new app for a liquid staking token for USDC. It's a yield-bearing stablecoin. It's called StakeUp. The best places to keep up with both are for Blueberry or at Blueberry FDN. So Blueberry FDN is in Foundation on Twitter or X, and then at StakeUp Protocol is the other handle for the new stablecoin. Going to be a lot of announcements being pushed out in the near future. Like I said, the TG is on the way. And the last thing is the Discord channel is just discord.gg/blueberry. Website link is blueberry.garden. So maybe you could rewind those if I set up too fast and you're looking for our socials. But yeah, that's everything on our side.
Yeah, I'll definitely put it on the show note. I
Okay,
really
cool.
love the website and the concept. I love Blueberry, so I think there's definitely a plus point.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always kind of like trying to walk the line between professionalism and the meme side of the space, right? So
Yeah.
that was our goal there.
Yeah, fun. All right. Thank you so much for being here and introducing Blueberry to Daily Crypto News listeners.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure.
All right. Bye bye.